He said he was at his mother's, but I saw her bracelet on his nightstand. I waited until their anniversary and sent her a package with the bracelet and our wedding video. When he called me screaming, I answered calmly and said, I wasn't looking to catch him. I really wasn't. I've always believed that if you go searching through someone's things, you'll eventually find something you don't like. And maybe that's what happened. But I also know that what I found wasn't something small or harmless. It changed everything. My name's Dana. I'm 42, and I live in Bloomington, Indiana. I've been married to my husband Matt for 13 years. Or, at least I thought I was married. He's 45, works in regional sales, travels a lot. I work at a law firm. Nothing exciting, mostly paperwork and phone calls. It started with a lie that seemed small at the time. He told me he was going to his mom's house in Franklin for a couple days. Said she needed help moving a few things. I didn't question it. He's done that before. He doesn't have a great relationship with her, but he still checks in. It sounded normal. He left on a Monday night. Came back Wednesday evening. Nothing seemed off until the next morning. I was making the bed, and I went to put away a few clothes in the dresser. That's when I saw it. A bracelet. It was sitting right on top of his nightstand, like it was meant to be seen. Not mine. Never seen it before. It was delicate, with a silver chain and a small ruby charm. Looked expensive, but not too flashy. Just enough to stand out. I picked it up. My hands were already shaking before I turned it over. On the inside of the clasp, I saw it. Yours always, S. That was it. The ground didn't shake. The walls didn't fall down. But everything felt wrong. I sat on the bed and stared at it. I didn't even cry. I just sat there, holding this stranger's bracelet, trying to think of any explanation that didn't make my stomach twist. There wasn't one. When Matt got home that night, I was calm. Too calm. He walked in with his usual fake smile and kissed me like everything was fine. Mom's doing all right, he said. She's still limping a little, but her neighbor helped us out. I didn't say much. I just nodded and watched him take off his jacket. Then I asked, Did your mom give you anything? He looked at me. What? Did she give you anything? Jewelry? Something old, maybe. He blinked fast.
Oh, no.
Why? I stood up and held the bracelet out to him. He looked at it for a second too long. I saw it on his face, the panic. Then he covered it up with a weird half-smile.
Oh,
That might be my sister's. You remember she stayed with us for a few weeks a couple years ago? I didn't answer. She hadn't stayed here in over 2 years. And she sure as hell didn't leave behind anything that fancy. Besides, she's married with a kid in Ohio now. I didn't argue. I just put it back down on the nightstand and walked away. That's when the switch flipped inside me. I knew I was being lied to. I just didn't know how deep it went. Over the next few weeks, I became someone I didn't recognize. I checked everything. His email, his work phone, even the old laptop we kept in the closet. He was careful. He deleted a lot. But one night, I got into his phone using his fingerprint while he was sleeping. And that's when I found the photo. It was saved in a folder that looked empty, but I used the search bar and found it buried in a backup. It was them. Her lips on his cheek, both of them in bed. Our bed. She was wearing the bracelet. That same ruby charm. And they looked so damn happy. Like they didn't have a care in the world. I stared at that photo for a long time. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Instead, I saved it. Then I searched more. Her name was Sandra. I found it in a tagged photo on Instagram. She wasn't private. She had her whole life out there. Pictures of her apartment, her friends, even her engagement ring. That's right. Engagement. She had a Pinterest board labeled Our Wedding. All kinds of country chic stuff. A barn reception. Twinkle lights. And under one picture, I saw the words that made my stomach turn. 10 years with my best friend. Can't wait to marry you, Matthew.
10 years.
We were married for 13. I wasn't his wife. I was his cover story. I didn't confront him. Not right away. I wanted to hurt him. I wanted it to sting. I marked their anniversary on my calendar. Sandra's post made it clear. September 14th. 10 years to the day. I spent the next month gathering everything I needed. I took our wedding video and had it copied onto a USB drive. I made sure it was labeled clearly. Then I boxed up the ruby bracelet and the photo I'd found. Her face kissing his cheek. Our bed in the background. I wrote a short note on plain white paper. He told me he was at his mother's. This was on our nightstand. I thought you deserved to know the truth before your wedding. I put it all in a clean white box. Wrapped it carefully. Paid extra for overnight shipping with signature confirmation. I addressed it to Sandra. Her apartment in Franklin. Same place Matt said his mom lived. She signed for it the morning of their anniversary. Then I waited. He called 2 days later. I was sitting on the couch when my phone rang. I saw his name. I let it ring twice, then picked up and put it on speaker. He was already yelling. "What the hell did you do, Dana?" I sipped my tea. "Good morning, Matt. Don't play games with me. You sent her our damn wedding video. Are you out of your mind?" I waited. Let him scream. Then I said, calm as anything, "She deserved to know who you really are. You ruined everything.
She's gone."
She moved out. Her parents blocked me. What the hell is wrong with you? I didn't respond right away. I wanted to make sure he heard me clearly. You left that bracelet on our nightstand, Matt. That wasn't smart. He went silent for a second. Then, you're a cold-hearted bitch. I didn't blink. Maybe. But I'm not a liar. Then I hung up. After I hung up, I sat in the silence. Not proud. Not relieved. Just still. It wasn't over. Not really. The fallout had just started. 3 days later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. When I listened back, it was Sandra. Her voice was calm, too calm. Almost shaky. "Dana, this is Sandra. I got the box. I watched everything. I wanted to say thank you. I don't know what else to say. He told me you two were separated. For years. I didn't know. I really didn't." She paused before hanging up. "I'm sorry he put you through that. He put me through it, too." That was the first time I really let myself cry. Not loud, not wild, just silent tears, sitting at my kitchen table. Because for all the rage I'd felt, there was this empty, awful part of me that knew what it was like to be lied to so deeply. And she'd been living in the same fake world I had. A week later, he showed up at my door. Didn't call first. Just knocked. I looked through the peephole and saw him standing there with a pitiful look on his face. "No flowers, no apologies." Just a man who finally lost control of his game. I opened the door a crack. "What?"
His voice was soft now.
"Way too soft. Can we talk?" I didn't open it further.
"No."
"You can talk to my lawyer." He ran a hand through his hair. "Look, I messed up. Okay? I got caught. I was stupid." I blinked. "You weren't just stupid. You were married to 2 people. That's not a mistake. That's a decision." He shook his head. "You don't get it. Things with us, they weren't good. You stopped trying. You didn't want kids anymore." I stepped forward. "I lost 2 pregnancies, Matt. I never said I didn't want kids. I said I was grieving." He looked down at the ground like a child who'd been scolded. "I loved you, Dana." "No, you loved what I gave you, stability. A place to hide when you weren't with her."
"You used me."
He didn't answer. Then he reached for his pocket.
"Here," he said.
"I wanted you to have this." It was a ring box. My engagement ring. The same one he gave me 13 years ago. I stared at it, then laughed. A dry, sharp laugh that didn't feel good at all. Why the hell would I want that? He stepped back, face red. I thought maybe it meant something. It did.
Once. But now?
It means you lied to me for a decade while you were planning a second life. Then I closed the door in his face. The divorce should have been simple. We had no kids, no shared debt, and I had proof of his infidelity. But Matt decided to drag it out. He refused to sign the initial settlement. Said he wanted the house. Said I owed him alimony because I made more now. It turned ugly. Fast. He started calling my coworkers, trying to dig up dirt. He filed a complaint with my office HR claiming I was mentally unstable. It didn't go anywhere, but it shook me. Then he started sending texts. Lots of them. You think this is over?
I'll ruin you.
You want war? You got it. You'll be alone forever, Dana. I stopped replying. I saved every message, every voicemail, every threat. My lawyer filed for a restraining order. That's when the real twist came. Sandra filed one, too. I found out through my attorney. She'd pressed charges. Emotional distress, stalking, harassment. He'd been showing up at her work, following her car, even sent her photos of the two of them from years ago. The man had cracked. Whatever mask he'd been wearing all these years finally slipped off. And what was under it wasn't some charming salesman. It was a liar who couldn't stand not being in control. He started telling people I was dangerous. Said I was unstable, violent, that I'd been abusive during our marriage. Small-town gossip spreads fast. I had to explain everything to my boss, to my friends. Some believed me. Some didn't say anything. I could feel people pulling away. I went to the grocery store and caught two women whispering near the deli counter. One of them used to be at our Christmas parties. It was like I'd become toxic by association. I stopped going out. Stopped answering unknown numbers. I spent nights sitting in silence, wondering how someone could wreck so many lives and still find ways to cause damage even after being caught. Then one day, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single photo. Sandra and I, sitting across from each other at a coffee shop. From a few weeks back, when we met to talk things through. It had a note on the back. Friends now? Cute. I froze. He'd followed us. He'd taken that picture. He was still watching. I brought the photo to my lawyer the next morning. He looked at it, shook his head, and said, "This crosses the line. He's not just harassing you, he's stalking you." We filed for an emergency protection order. Sandra did the same. Still, the damage was done. I stopped walking my dog alone. Started checking the cameras I installed on my front porch twice a night. My locks were changed, but I didn't sleep much. What scared me most wasn't that he was watching. It was how quiet he'd become. No more calls. No more texts. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels loaded. Sandra reached out again. She told me he'd shown up at her father's house last week, banging on the door, demanding to explain everything. Her dad called the cops. But by the time they showed up, Matt had already peeled off in his car.
He was spiraling.
But no one could figure out what he was after. He wasn't asking for forgiveness. He wasn't trying to win either of us back. He just wouldn't let go. I started collecting everything. Copies of his messages. Screenshots of his fake accounts. I found 2 burner emails he'd made, using them to send anonymous messages to people I worked with. He was trying to ruin my reputation, brick by brick. I even found a Reddit thread where someone had posted about a lying ex-wife who destroyed his relationship with his soulmate, claiming she faked evidence and mailed dangerous lies to ruin him. It didn't get traction, but the fact that he was going that far told me one thing: he was planning something. One morning, I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject line: "Thought you'd like to see this." It was a screenshot of a Craigslist ad. My name, my photo, a fake phone number and email, and a message saying I was available for company, no questions asked, cash only. My heart stopped. He was trying to frame me as a prostitute. The fake number was already getting messages when I checked it. Gross, disgusting stuff from men who thought I was real. One of them even sent a picture. I forwarded everything to my lawyer, to the police. It took 3 days to have the ad pulled down. In those 3 days, my email inbox filled with garbage. That was the last straw. Sandra and I met in person again. We weren't friends, not exactly, but we were on the same side of this now. "We have to stop him," she said, looking worn out. Her eyes had bags, and she clutched her coffee like it was medicine. "He's unraveling." I nodded. "We can't wait for the court to catch up."
So we made a plan.
Sandra had access to old messages from Matt, sweet ones, innocent ones. He always used the same kind of language when he was trying to charm someone. We made a fake profile on a dating app. Used a photo of a friend of hers who wasn't on it. Someone Matt didn't know. We called her Kelly. We gave Kelly a story. Divorced, lonely, no kids, loves road trips. Everything Matt liked. Within 2 days, he matched with her. We didn't even have to message him first. He reached out, started pouring it on thick. You seem special. Something about you feels real. Let's meet. I'm tired of games. Sandra, pretending to be Kelly, kept the conversation going. She steered it toward talking about his past.
He spilled
Everything. He admitted to having 2 broken relationships with unstable women. Said he was harassed by his ex-wife and ex-fiancé. Said they teamed up to destroy him. He bragged about being careful, about how no one could prove anything. He had no idea it was all being saved, screenshot, and cataloged. Then we set the bait. A fake date. A public location. Cameras. Witnesses. We gave the police a heads up through our lawyer. Let them know he might violate the order if he showed up. And he did. Right on time. Looking smug, with flowers in his hand. Until he saw the 2 officers waiting by the bench. They arrested him on the spot for stalking, harassment, and violating multiple protection orders. And the best part? We handed the cops a thumb drive. Every message. Every photo. Every fake ad. Every disgusting lie. His smirk didn't last long. He spent the night in jail. When he got out on bail, his boss found out. He was fired within the week. Then came the court summons. Civil suits. Sandra's family pressed charges. I pressed charges. Turns out, he'd lied on his employment paperwork. Sandra found proof he was collecting travel reimbursements for company visits that never happened. He was committing expense fraud. That triggered a company audit. He didn't just lose his job. He lost his career. Then came the social fallout. Every woman he'd ever lied to, used, or ghosted came out of the woodwork. They started a private Facebook group. One of them had been 19 when he was 34. Another had a baby with him he never claimed. His whole past exploded online. And the only thing louder than the anger was the silence coming from Matt. No more calls. No more emails. No more screaming voicemails. Just quiet. Like he'd finally realized no one believed his lies anymore. Matt went quiet for a while after the arrest. But I knew better. Men like him don't go away, they regroup. They try to find cracks to crawl back through. So I kept checking, monitoring, preparing. A month after his arrest, I was served. He filed a defamation lawsuit. Said I ruined his reputation and mental well-being by spreading lies and manipulating people against him. I laughed when I read it, but I didn't underestimate it. I showed it to my lawyer. She wasn't surprised. He's desperate, she said, but we'll bury him with truth. And we did. The trial lasted 4 days. Matt showed up looking like a man who hadn't slept in weeks. Dark circles, unshaved, eyes twitching like he expected someone to throw a rock at him. He told the judge I was vengeful, mentally unstable, obsessed. He cried on the stand, real tears. Then our side started talking. Sandra took the stand first.
Calm. Direct.
She told the judge everything. How he lived a double life, how he lied to both of us, how he tried to win her back with guilt and threats. Then came the digital evidence. Screenshots. Emails. The Reddit post. The fake ad on Craigslist. The photo of me and Sandra with the creepy note. We had it all. Then my lawyer dropped the final bomb. Proof of bigamy. Matt had secretly married Sandra in Tennessee 3 years into our marriage. She had no idea. Neither did I. 2 legal marriages. 1 man. 0 honesty. The courtroom went silent. The judge stared at him like he'd just stepped in something foul. You realize, the judge said slowly, this isn't just unethical. It's criminal. His lawyer went pale. Matt just sat there, mouth open, like he couldn't believe the walls had finally closed in. The judge dismissed his case with prejudice, called it what it was, a manipulation tactic meant to intimidate and harass. Then he referred Matt to the district attorney for felony bigamy charges. The fallout was massive. Matt was arrested again. This time it stuck. He was charged with bigamy, fraud, and identity falsification across state lines. Turns out, when you lie on multiple marriage licenses and get caught, the legal system doesn't look kindly on it. Sandra filed a civil suit for emotional damages and financial loss. So did I. We both won. He owed me $74,000. He owed her more. He didn't have it. Not anymore. His house, the second apartment, the car, all liquidated to pay legal fees. The rest went into debt. I heard through someone that he's living in a shared rental in a rough part of Indianapolis now. No car. No job. No friends. He tried dating again. Didn't go well. Sandra and I made sure the group of women he hurt never stayed silent again. His face and story live online now. Not slander, just facts. The truth. Public and permanent. After it all, I thought I'd feel whole.
Free.
Vindicated. But truthfully, I was numb for a long time. I kept thinking back to the years I lost. The way I ignored signs. Let the silence between us grow. The way I convinced myself things were just fine when they weren't even close. I wasn't perfect. I shut down after my second miscarriage. I didn't ask hard questions. I let comfort become denial. That's on me. I'm not excusing him. What he did was cruel, calculated, and disgusting. But healing meant looking at myself, too. At how I stayed when I should have left. I started therapy. Real therapy, not just the read a book and drink tea kind. I learned to stop blaming myself for being lied to, and to forgive myself for surviving. Sandra and I don't talk much anymore, but we do check in. Birthdays. Holidays. No small talk, just real updates. We went through something twisted together. There's a bond there, even if we don't say it out loud. 1 year to the day after I found that bracelet, I stood in my living room, holding it again. I'd kept it in a box. The same velvet box I mailed it in. The one that started everything. I took it outside to the backyard fire pit.
Lia match.
Dropped it in. Watched it burn. The silver didn't melt right away, but the chain twisted and blackened. The ruby cracked in half. It didn't scream. It didn't fight. It just broke. Just like everything he built on lies. Then I walked back inside. Closed the door. And for the first time in years, I didn't look back.